Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Today we are going to discuss about whether climate change is the main cause of disaster. My name is Yung Kawai, metric number 193049.
My name is Li Yanqi, metric number 194814.
My name is Song Wei, metric number 193135.
My name is Liu Kaimai, metric number 191638.
Okay, first of all, I would like to stand my point that I disagree climate change is the main cause of disasters by human. Okay? Human disaster is a disastrous event caused directly and principally by one or more identifiable, deliberate, or negligent human actions. Right? Easier, we can say disaster is caused by human stupidity. Okay. In my opinion, I think man-made disasters are way more dangerous than human disasters because natural disasters may include some forest fires, but man-made disasters are acid rain, nuclear explosion, gas leak, which are very harmful, enough to kill millions of people. People are harming our Mother Earth only because of their hunger of success, and their hunger are costing millions of lives. So, in my opinion, I think human is the main cause of disaster. How about you, Yanqi?
Sorry, I have to disagree with your point because I think that climate change is the main cause of disaster. Before I explain more about my point, I would like to define climate change. Climate change is a change in the statistical distribution of weather patterns when that change lasts for an extended period of time. Climate change refers to change in average weather conditions or in the time variation of weather within the context of long-term average conditions. Nowadays, global warming becomes one of the examples of climate change. So, I think that global warming could affect storm formation by decreasing the temperature difference between the poles and the equator. Warmer temperature could increase the amount of water vapor that enters the atmosphere. This can cause the increasing in the number of the intense storms and increasing of the cases in the world. So what do you think, Carmen?
Okay. In my opinion, I agree with your points, since that climate change is the main cause of disaster. I don't want to explain more about the climate change and the disaster. I think example can make it more clear with the climate change that led to disaster. I straight away give an example. There's a wildfire risk occurs in southern Europe, North America, and also parts of the South Africa. There was a case occurs like 3 months ago in southern Europe. It's caused by the dry weather of the environment, and the case is found out that is caused by the long period of heat caused by vegetation that led to the fires occurs, the burning occurs. And also there was a well-known case in Malaysia. It's about the Penang flood. It's also found out is caused by the climate change because the planet is getting warmer, and the atmosphere can hold more moistures, and when it's rain, it's really pours, so it's really caused a flash flood at Penang area. Yeah, so I agree with your point. So how about you? Wei.
I disagree with your points that say the wildlife which occur and flood. The wildfire which and flood can cause naturally. For me, in my opinion, the disaster nowadays have been happening since the prehistory, which occur naturally. The reason why disaster cause so much of attention is only because people get harmed and killed, and the media is on the spot to tell everyone else. Disaster plaguing the world today, such as volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tornadoes, floods, and landslides, have been happening at least since prehistory, and man wasn't around to make it. For example, due to the frequent earthquakes, steep slopes, weak geological formation, eruptible soil, and intensive rainfall in summer regions, several kinds of disaster, such as the typhoon, flooding, and landslide, have been suffered in Taiwan. The magnitude and occurrence of each kind of natural hazard are varied according to intensity of process and physical geographic environment. However, the research on these kind of disasters has been promoted by academic institutions, and numerous reduction treatments such as dam digs have been constructed to mitigate the vulnerability to this kind of disaster. So what do you think, Yanqi?
Sorry, I have to disagree with your point, because as your point is disaster happened in prehistory, right? I think that disaster such as glaciers melting is a normal process, but glaciers melting nowadays is faster than normal. It causes sea level rises and also floods in housing area, and increasing of cases of glaciers melting will lead to severe freshwater shortage in the near future. For example, a serious flooding occurred in Greenland recently. Another example is the flood happened in an island has swept away an important bridge and airports of that island. Greenland is just one example out of a lot of other countries. Besides, glaciers melting also causes water fish cannot survive.
May I interrupt? Sorry. Just now you say the glaciers have been melting lah. The glaciers have been melting since this called Shingon glaciation, which is 12,000 years ago. And the oceans do not rise because of something called isostasis. For me, I think the climate change surely has a significant effect on the weather. There was no way to determine its exact influence on any individual event. There are just too many other factors affecting the weather, including all sorts of natural climate variation. Like Carmen just now mentioned, the wildlife which occur, for example, like the forest fire. There are three elements that are required for a forest fire to burn. For example, it's like heat, oxygen, and fluid. This is so-called a tree triangle. Without all three of these triangles, the fire will go off. So I think that naturally the disasters is caused by naturally. It's not caused by climate change. What do you think about Carmen?
I disagree with your point, because just now you mentioned about the melting of iceberg is caused by naturally. But what Yanqi said is it's faster. Climate change faster the speed of the melting of iceberg. Not to say that is caused by the climate change. It's because climate change will faster the melting speed. Yeah, and I want to add on my point is about is another example. It's a drought that occurs in Somalia like several years, continuously several years until now. It's caused by the climate change, because the rising earth temperature, and it caused the water evaporate out from the soil into the air and sucking away the moisture from the plants. That led to they cannot grow any plants at their area, and also their livestock all are dead, and they are only just take one meal per day. And these all are caused by climate change, because these all things cannot happen with humans stupidities or human behavior. So I think climate change is caused by climate change can cause disaster. Yeah, that's my point. What do you think?
Come on. Don't you think that the drought in Somalia or dryness is also caused by human activities? As we know nowadays, climate change drastically. Like for example, summer become longer and also winter comes lately. Like in the country which has winter. Okay, so I agree that our environment has been the victim of all sorts of attacks. Some of these attacks are also natural, such as hurricanes and earthquakes. However, there are attacks that are unnatural and man-made, such as wars, explosion, chemical spills, etc. These attacks usually carry with them heavy price tags as property and lives are damaged beyond full compensation and repair. Okay, I would like to give some example on human disasters. On March 24, about some 19 million barrels of crude oil was spilled in Prince William Sound, Alaska by the oil tanker Exxon Valdez after it ran into Black Reef. It is considered to be one of the most devastating human-caused environmental disasters with both the long-term and short-term effects of the oil spill having been studied. Immediate effects included the death of 100,000 to as many as 250,000 seabirds, at least 2,800 sea otters, 300 harbor seals, 247 bald eagles, and 22 orcas, and unknown number of salmon and herring. So can't you guys imagine how terrible, how dangerous is human disaster is? I think that human disaster is far more dangerous than natural disasters, and I stick to my point. Human is the main cause of disasters. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think?
I agree with your point actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think like my point earlier is global warming is a main cause of disaster, right? But global warming is caused by man's activity too. So I agree with your point that human is the main cause of the disaster.
Thank you.
Okay, same to me. I think after I listen to your scientific data, I think climate change is not the main cause of the disaster, because it also can be led by man's activities.
Yeah.
So now I will summarize the main points that presented in our groups. All students think that disasters happening because it's by naturally and also human-made. So we all agree that climate change is not the main cause of disaster plaguing the world nowadays. So thank you all of you for your contributions in this discussion.
Okay,
Thank you.